Hello everyone, it's Silver. It is Wednesday, May 27th. I just wanted to say a quick hello to all new viewers and also welcome back to all of my returning viewers. If you did tune in last time and decided to come back, I really do appreciate it. You can actually find me on Ravelry at Silverluna2112, at Silver's Treats on Instagram, and at Silver's Knitting on Twitter. I do have a lot to talk to you about this week, especially due to the start of Stash Dash, so we probably should get started, right? Just please grab your drink of choice, your crafting, and away we go. Actually, today I'm drinking a cup of water as I am recording this a bit later in the day than I planned, mostly due to meetings on the part of MTI and a bunch of other stuff going on in the background here. Mostly yard work. Anyway, so coffee this late in the day will cause me to not be able to sleep at all. So, in that vein, I'm just going to take a quick drink and we will jump right into it. In this episode, I do have FOs or finished objects, whips or works in progress, Radio GaGa, Silver's book pile, Silver in the case of the screen time, my favorite things, and the end of the road. Okay, let's talk finished objects, or FOs. I'm going to note now that I am going to be talking about a lot of numbers in the form of the yardage that I got on each project that I finished. Just as an apology to those counting throughout the course of the section, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. Alright, and I'm also going to put the yardage on the pictures as well as the project names, so that way you can see them as we go by. The first project that I did manage to finish, or semi-finish, I finished 12 different squares for my Scrappy Happy blanket. To remind you guys, I am using a majority of fingering scraps. A lot of the ones that I did finish this particular week, I did have from many different socks and projects I've even finished during Stash Dash, so look forward to that. I am using a size G hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter hook. I love that hook, you guys. So for all 12 of these squares, I did get a total of 1,104 yards, so that's good. It's a good start, right? I also ended up finishing my birthday month socks, which was the Toe Up Socks of the Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. I used the Desert Vista Dye Works on the Viso base in the colorway Daphne Somebody Blake, and I used the size US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circular, and two 16-inch circulars for the heels, toes, and cuffs. For these socks, I did get a total of 258.7 yards, so yay! That's always good. Means I have a little bit left for something else I'm working on. I'll tell you about it later. The third thing I managed to finish since last Friday, actually, when Stash Dash started, is what I called Mama's Muse. I did get 303.8 yards on these socks. This is for a recipient for the holidays. Won't say who, though. The pattern I used on this one was the Socks on a Plan by Lala. And I did use Knit Picks Muse hand-painted sock in the Elation colorway, as well as a size US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter 9-inch circulars for the heel, and two 16-inch circulars for the heels, toes, and cuffs. The next project I did finish was what I called Banana Sis. This got me 273.2 yards for Stash Dash, so that's good. Again, I did use the Socks on a Plane pattern by Lala, and I used Hugh Loco's Merino sock in the Banana Who colorway, as well as a size US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter 9-inch circulars, as well as two 16-inch circulars, so yay! The fifth thing that I did finish since the last time we talked was what I called Blue Bro. This got me to 371.8 yards because the recipient intended has big feet. That's all I'm going to say. This pattern what I used was the Toe Up Socks of the Difference pattern by Wendy D. Johnson. And I did use the Regia Arnie and Carlo's design line in the colorway 03656, which is all sorts of blues. It has a little bit of greens in it. It's so cute. You can see for yourself. They're really awesome. And for this one, I did use a size 1.5. Again, a 2.5 millimeter on 19 circulars and 216 circulars for the heels, toes, and cuffs on that one as well. The first shawl that I did finish during Stash Dash was what I called my Flat White is Magical. And this did get me 880.4. Wow, this did get me 880.4 yards. The pattern on this one was the Flat White Wrap by CC Allman. I did use roughly about 2¼ skeins of Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love sock in the Magician colorway, and I used the size US 3.25 millimeter on my Haya Cirques. The next shawl that I finished was what I called Forever Minty. This got me 796.4 yards. And the pattern on this one was It Has Always Been Forever For Me Sasana Shawl by CC Allman. And I did use 2 different colorways of Lolo Did It plush sock in the Barely a Bear Mint and Sasana colorway, which is an Outlander reference if you hadn't figured it out by now. Anyway, on that shawl, I did use a size US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter Chigu red lace needles on that one. I literally had a row and a bind off, and I was done. The next shawl that I did manage to finish was what I called It's Getting Dangerous. And this got me a total of 401.9 yards. So just under a skein of that yarn. The yarn I used on this one was Knit Picks Muse hand painted sock in the Elation colorway on a size US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. And the pattern on this one was the Fractal Danger by Martina Bem. And finally, the last thing that I did finish since the last time we talked is what I called Blue Tate Silver Style. These were actually shorty socks that I made for myself, and they came in at 244.7 yards. The pattern on this one was the CC's Vanilla Cappuccino Socks by CC Allman, and I did use the colorway number 8826 from Cascade Yarn Silk Paints. I absolutely love this blue variation. Love it. Oh. And I did use a size US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter needle, actually on 9 circulars for the whole sock, which is great, except for the ribbing at the top. So yeah, and well, okay, fine, and the toes too, but yeah, anyway. All right, well, what that makes it is that for Stash Dash, I have now a total of 4,639.9 yards, which translates to about 4,242.7 meters. So yay! Oh goodness. So for the first week, that's not bad at all. With that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. So what's currently on the needles? Just a few things that I've been working on since I had my little cast-off party. The first one that I actually cast on since the last time we talked is what I called Purple Viajante. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce it right ever. This pattern is the Viajante by Martina Bem. I'm actually using 2 different skeins of Blue Moon Fiber Arts in the Silk Thread 2 base in the colorway KMBFLA. That is a anagram for something, and I won't mention that because that would get me kicked off YouTube. Anyway, this is a nice purple colorway I've had for a while. I had intended on doing an even store with it, and then I realized I don't think I'll ever get to it, so I decided to make another Viajante, sorry. And I'm using a size US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter needle. That's the very beginning of the shawl, which I have actually moved everything onto a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. I love. Actually, yeah, they're on a 16-inch Hayas right now, so yay. Anyway, this is actually being housed in my Outlander bag by the Knitted Drumstick. The next thing that did get a little bit of love since the last time we talked, I actually ended up getting to the first socks ribbing, about 10 rows in on the ribbing. I say about, but it's actually 10 rows of ribbing out of 20. So good luck to that. You know me and ribbing. Anyway, I digress. The pattern I'm using on this one is the Taupe Socks with a Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. And I am using West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply in the colorway 0713. And this colorway has black in it, has also reds, it also has gray in it. Oh, it's gorgeous. I think the recipient will love it as much as I do. Either way, I am using a size US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter on 9-inch circulars for the body of the sock, and for the heels, toes, and cuffs, I'm actually using two 16-inch circulars. So, and the last thing that did get, okay, I'm gonna say I got a lot of work done on this one since I stopped casting things off on Saturday. I bound off the body on the Huffle Pride sweater that I'm working on, and I'm currently into the third or the fourth decrease on the first sleeve now, so yay. Let's see. Oh yes, and just to remind you, the pattern I'm using is Hogwarts: A History by Megan Regan, and I am using Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love sock in both the slate colorway for the body and lemon curd for the color work. And I am using a size US 6, which is a 4 millimeter for most of the body of the sweater. For the sleeves, it is actually on a 12-inch circular Haya Sharps. So yay. And honestly, I bought them specifically for this project, so yay. Yay, I remembered where I put them. Anyway, I digress. Just so you know, I did not get any other crafting done, so no X's and O's this time around for that reason. I pretty much have decided, I think for the majority of the summer, that I'm going to put aside my other crafting and try to finish as many of my works in progress as I possibly can to get me to the 15K goal for Stash Dash. We shall see how that goes, right? Anyway, before I keep rambling on, I'm going to go move on to the next segment. Radio Gaga. Okay, I have to admit, just today I started listening to 80s music channel on Xfinity, which is kind of one of my favorite channels, honestly, because it's the one channel that MDI and I can both kind of listen to in the background while we get stuff done. Anyway, besides that, I have been listening to many different podcasts, including My Favorite Murder, Martinis and Murder, The Fall Line, Murder Squad, Wine and Crime, and That's Why We Drink, and American Hysteria. All right, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, right? Either way, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Silver's book pile. Alright, so I guess since the last time we talked, I managed to finish a few books, and this is since the last time I had talked about books, which is 2 weeks now at this point. Anyway, I have finished a book called Decidedly Off Limits by Stina Lindblad, also Mind Games by T.K. Lee, Three Men and a Maybe by K.V. Lovell, then Vampire Bait by Annie Vampire Bait by Annie Nicholas. Also Hunger Revealed by D. Carney. The Visitor by K. and D. West. The Doctor's Love by Jennifer Grayson. All I Want for Christmas by Jennifer Grayson. And the third book in that particular series I'm currently reading, which is called Marrying His Best Friend. I also finished Dirty Filthy Rich Boys by Laura Lynn Page. That took about 20 minutes, let's be honest. Anyway, and another book that I am currently reading is called Hot Stuff by Carly Phillips. A lot of these books are actually rereads for me, just because. Speaking of rereads, I'm also reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows along with the Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast. I think we'll be going into chapter 6 this coming week, and I cannot wait. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Silver and the Case of the Screen Time. Okay, well, in terms of TV, I've been spending a lot of time actually binge watching Destination Fear, which reminds me that's on tonight. Also, Masked Singer with the after shows. They had their season finale last week, so yay. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I knew maybe one of the people that was in the finale. Anyway, I also have been watching 911 and 911 Lone Star as they are playing that during the summer, which is cool. I finished up I watched the finale of Mental Samurai this week, as well as a new show called Labor of Love and Ultimate Tag. Those two, I think those are going to be put aside. Also, Celebrity Watch Party is kind of funny. It's a bunch of celebrities watching what we're all watching during the course of the week, including the Osbournes. Let's just put it this way. Ozzy falls asleep during some shows, but the ones that he does manage to comment on, his comments are amazing. Anyway, speaking of the Osbournes, good segue, great segue, if you will, to Portals to Hell, which is another show I've been watching, as well as Ghost Nation, so yay. Let's see, since the last time we talked, I did manage to watch 6 different movies. I'm gonna tell you, most of them are all in the same series. One is Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2, as well as Murder on the Orient Express. And now that I think about it, there are a few other movies. Let me double check that. With the magic of editing, you won't even notice I'm gone. Yes, The Prince and Me with Julia Stiles in it, as well as The Beautician and the Beast, which was my first watch. And honestly, I want that. I want those couple hours back, even though it is Fran Drescher. Anyway, let's move on to the podcast that I did watch since the last time we talked. I have been keeping up with the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. Mad Fuzzy had a couple episodes, as well as Knit 3 Together. Beyond Hollywood, of course. I love those ladies. True Crime Daily. But of course, Officer Paw Patrol had a couple of live streams. I joined in on those. That was fun. As well as Stitching the High Notes. And she had a little bit of a break, I think, over this past weekend, which is cool. Good for her, right? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Let's move on to my favorite things, or I'm probably going to call it this time around birthday shenanigans, because yeah. So for my birthday, my mom and my dad actually stopped by the house really quickly to drop off this wonderful plant. I can't believe it's actually still living, but good for us, right? And also MJ ended up giving me this cake that he cut into. But anyway, let's see. Oh, yes. And since the last time we talked, I did have my Animal Crossing party. And also since the last time we talked, I did end up putting a bunch of work into the island, including a nice relaxing little area. And also the game celebrated my birthday in kind of a big way. I will try to sort of keep it in day order, but I'm sure that's not going to happen. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an explanation about what was going on before I went ahead and showed you what was going on in my town. I'm going to have about 4 minutes worth of pictures. There are a lot of other videos that are on my Facebook feed as well. If you would like to go ahead and friend request me there, that's fine as well. That way you can see them all. Like I said, I take lots and lots of photos and videos when I'm playing Animal Crossing. So yeah, but I'm actually going to go ahead and play that video here. And then I will see you in the next segment. come to the end of the road. I am pretty social. You can find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am Silverluna 2112 there. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at www.facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am Silver's Treats. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. However, if you don't hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to go ahead and email me directly at silversdreamland@gmail.com. As always, everything that I talk about can be found directly at the show notes, which is www.silverstreamlandpodcast.com. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe and hit the bell down below. This way others can find me in my little corner of YouTube. That, of course, and you get to see when I finally post videos. Alright, I have rambled for long enough. I know your time is valuable, so please feel free to join in any discussion, or you can even start your own on the Silver's Dreamland Ravelry board. I don't bite, I promise. Now, if you are feeling generous, please hit that like button below so that others can find my show as well. And it really does help my channel. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And as always, please stay tuned for episode 90 next week. Until next time, happy crafting!